Welcome to Getting Better. I have two wonderful men that are the composers for the Chosen TV series. I have Dan and Matthew.
Yes.
And Dan was you still are with Jars of Clay.
I am, yes.
Yes. And Matthew, tell us about you, because I don't know a lot about except seeing you on the Chosen, some of the Chosen background scenes.
Yes, I'm a mysterious musical figure who's held various roles of international music mystery. But I know Dan from I toured with Jars of Clay for a handful of years.
You did,
and that's how Dan and I know each other.
Well, can you scoot in? I want to make sure they get you.
Yes,
if you don't mind
sure.
me being too close to you.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind one bit.
So you toured with Jars of Clay. So you played with Jars of Clay.
Yes, I played. I played with. They typically there's the four primary jars.
Yep.
And then they have like usually a couple of support guys that sit underneath the jars while they're trying
make us sound good. They class up the joint, as we like to say.
I tell you what, the music for The Chosen is wonderful.
Thank
mean,
you.
just the music and soundtrack, right? The whole background. All the music. I mean, the photography is beautiful too. The camera, oh my gosh. And you add the music, and I've tried to figure out why you feel so good after you watch each episode.
Yeah.
And my daughter said, it's the music. And I said, okay, it's not just the music. I don't know. I think it's the music.
But mostly it probably is.
It probably is the music. Yes.
It is. It's wonderful. So tell me how all this, like, how did this come about, and what are you guys doing now? Like, what's going on right now? So if you can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Well, Dallas Jenkins and I have been friends for a long time. And so Dallas called me up and said, hey, I'm working on this new show called, it's going to be about Jesus and the disciples around Jesus. And he said, I'd really love for you to be a part of it and do the music. And I told him no.
You said no?
I said no. Because I just, at the time, I think I was in that headspace where I was like, you know what, there have been a lot of shows about Jesus out there. And I don't know that I've been very satisfied by any of them, in terms of the fullness of or wholeness of the way that they portray Jesus. You either get the brooding Jesus or the stoic Jesus, but you don't ever get an actual human, relatable Jesus from any of it. And so I was like, I just don't feel like I need to be part of a show that's going to just create another Jesus character. But I should have known, because it's Dallas, that he was thinking about doing something quite different. So he gave me a week to think it over, and then called me back and described more of what he wanted. And I said, okay, I think I can get my head around this. And so I knew, like, having toured with Matt Nelson and knowing a lot of his kind of the love that he had for music and how good he was with improvisation and all of that, I thought, well, I think I want to work with him and work with him on this project. So I called him up, or texted you, right?
Yep.
I texted you, and I was like, hey, I'm going to work on this thing, and would you be interested in it? And so here we are.
So he trusted you. So tell me your last name.
My last name is Haseltine.
Dan Haseltine.
Dan Haseltine. Yep.
I know, I've seen that though.
Yeah.
To me, that sounds very familiar. It's funny how you say it. It's not. It's a very unique name. I don't think I've ever heard it before.
Yeah, it's been, in junior high it was Has No Friends and Ovaltine. I think were the two ways people described it. But
Ovaltine.
Junior high is tough for everybody.
It is. Haseltine.
Yeah.
How about you, Matthew Nelson? Did
Yes,
you get any
Matthew
play
Nelson.
on your names?
Oh gosh, no, I don't think so. Because I went by Matt as a kid, Matt Nelson, and it's
Not a lot you can do with that.
not a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the only problem is that it's such a forgettable American name.
Oh.
It is pretty common.
That's so common.
Dan Matthew. At least it's
Yep.
not Smith.
That's
And
true.
Matthew,
That's true.
Matthew, see, you're meant to be working with the Jesus show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So The Chosen, I do understand, because my husband was a seminary professor for 20 years. We've seen a lot of Jesus shows,
Yes.
right? And it took us a while to, maybe a year, and had people tell us about it. We are super busy, and we thought, so we finally one night just said, hey, you want to watch The Chosen? And during COVID, right?
Yep.
And oh my gosh, we felt so dumb. I mean, we were just like, this is so wonderful, and amazing. And I kept asking him, he's a PhD. doesn't mean he's smart anyway. But I did keep asking him, "Is it biblical?" Right?
He
What
might
do you
know
think
stuff.
of them coming up with possibilities based on what they know about the characters? And he said,
Yeah.
"I love it.
Yeah,
it was
good.
wonderful." But the music, you had that girl on that played the violin, the
Yeah,
cello.
the cello, yes.
And she was so moved by the show, and you guys let her come on. I saw that. That was wonderful.
That was a really sweet thing to be a part of.
So how is it putting together the sound for such an incredible show about your Savior?
Ooh, that's a thing that we have to. It would be really easy to. There's this phrase in the visual art world that you paint what you see. You don't paint what you know is there. You just paint what you see. And so with us, it would be really easy because a lot of these stories and a lot of the Bible verses that come up in the show are sort of larger than life. So it would be really easy for us to overdo it and play up what we know the thing has become, the enormity of the concept, rather than just looking at the screen of what's literally going on right here in front of me and scoring what's happening in front of me. Because so it's a paint what you see and not what you know is there kind of experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our role is a support role in the show, really. I mean, we rely on the actors to give great performances, and then we rely on Dallas to really direct well, and then we are just sort of the icing on the cake in a lot of ways. Like we're just the music in a show. Hopefully, is not something that people are taken out of the show or out of the story because of. Like we would not be doing our job well if the music kind of overshadowed what was going on or people paid too much attention to it. We are simply there to kind of be a signpost to help the story keep moving forward. So in that regard, I think we give ourselves pretty good guardrails in terms of not overdoing it. We can't think a lot about the enormity of like the larger than life elements. Like we were talking earlier about the scene with Nicodemus and Jesus on the rooftop, and how in that scene, one of the things we were allowed to do is to completely breeze over John 3:16. Which is one of the most recognized and lauded scriptures, right?
Right.
And you go, okay, well, but instead of like giving it this extra emotion because we know it's
big
important,
verse.
we basically just,
Of course it's important.
yeah, it happened in conversation. It didn't need to be over embellished. We let it just kind of slide by, and that was a good. That was exciting for me because I felt like, okay, Dallas gets that the show is human, that it's trying to tell the truth. Yeah.
Well, and it's been, if you just look at the first season and how it moved everyone, right? And the music was incredible, right? And so they did add, that Trouble at the end, that song Trouble. Oh my goodness. Everybody was singing that. And clients were coming into our clinics and they were wearing this Trouble shirt. Oh. And I'm like, and I was like, oh, I hadn't met him yet. I'm like, oh, you're Trouble. And they'd laugh. Yeah. And they're like, have you seen The Chosen? I was like, yeah, and that's incredible, right? So I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
Every single time, not when we ordered, the first time we ordered books, they came.
Yeah.
Every single time we have ordered, this is in Dallas, T-shirts, anything, they get stolen.
Oh, no.
Every single time. We don't get them.
Like they don't come
to your door. The post office delivered them, but they never got to our door. We have cameras. So
really?
Every single time.
Wow.
3, we have not gotten shirts. We have not gotten hoodies. We have ordered. And so this is the thing. We're like, we know they rent, and we are going to call them and have them, we didn't get them. So we're just like, someday we will. So
you'll actually get your shirt.
I thought we need to send them
like
somewhere
somebody
else.
Stealing a Bible out of your car?
I tell you.
Maybe.
I'm thinking, what is that?
Yeah.
That is it's so popular. It's
I'm
crazy.
so sorry that's happened.
We just think,
I'm sorry that's happened.
people love The Chosen, and sometimes the last time I went ahead and ordered the journal, the devotionals.
Oh yeah.
Too. And I thought, hey, at least I'll get a devotional with it. I should have thought to order the book. But yeah, it's so funny. I don't know what to think of that. So it's people love it.
You need to talk to them and then have them put a tracker inside the package.
Yeah, great
and
idea.
then when it arrives, then the package gets taken, you'll be able to track where it goes in your neighborhood.
So we just need to find someone else to send it to. I mentioned it on one of the live feeds, and they said, call us. So I'm going to call them. I thought, okay. Because we're going to find another place to send it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People love it in Dallas.
That is
amazing.
wild.
I know. Well,
So wild.
I had a friend that he got his car broken into, and they stole all of his music out of his car. And this is before, they stole, and it was all Christian CDs and things like that. They stole. He's like, well, I hope they listen to him.
Yeah. After all
And
that
Jars
work.
of Clay was in there. Jars of Clay was in there.
Oh,
Yes, and I can't think of the other ones because it was a while ago. But I just thank you guys and your contribution. It is wonderful, fabulous. So you are just the composers, or are you guys also writing some songs?
Well, the small number of songs that are actually in the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you guys write Trouble?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And actually, the story behind that is pretty funny, actually, because we had to write it
Quickly.
really fast
Yeah.
to get it in the show, because we were trying to license a different song to use at the end there, and the publisher didn't do it. But we were in the final dubbing stage, and we didn't have an end cue. We didn't have the song, so
Yep.
Matt had a friend who who owned a studio just down the street, a couple blocks from where we were.
Literally walking distance.
Yeah, so we walked over to that studio, sat down, wrote that, recorded it, went back to the dubbing stage and put it in, and it was literally within 4 hours. I think we had to have it.
Well, yeah,
right?
we recorded it, had it mixed overnight,
That's right.
and then put in, and then it was put in the show the next morning.
Yeah. It's a wonderful song.
Wild. Thank you.
Also, the other place and this is what my daughter was talking about in episode 4 with the fish.
Oh yeah.
The music is incredible when they're running. All of that, it's incredible. I can't even. It's I love that. I don't know how many times I've seen
Celebratory.
them. It's my favorite episode of the first season.
Good,
and then I love the last one too. I mean, I shouldn't say I love the 4th one, but a lot of it's because that music and the excitement. I mean, it's so simple. You keep it simple, but it's so wonderful. And I know I gotta let you go.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
You are welcome.
And,
All right.
Yeah.
So
and I really
Dan
do hope you'll get your
my
shirts and
stuff. I'm
stuff.
going to be
Me
wearing
too.
it. Dan Haseltine and Matthew Nelson. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for having
Take
us.
care. From
Appreciate
The
it.
Chosen.
Yes.
Take care.
Throw me like a stone in the water, watch the mud rise up. Dress me like a lamb for the slaughter, pour me in your cup. Should've known we'd bring trouble, trouble gonna find you here. Trouble.